SoFi investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. In today's episode, I'm going to go over why I think the stock is set to explode in the very near future. The stock reports earnings tomorrow before the bell, so I want to get this video in to let you know why I think you may regret not getting in under 20 bucks per share when we're looking back 2-3 years down the road on this stock. I'm very excited about the earnings. I think we're going to hit some brand new records in this earnings report. I'm going to go over my thoughts on the stock moving forward, potential price targets, and all the reasons why SoFi is set to go back over 25 bucks per share very soon. All right, stock market investors, before we get into this video, if you could do me a huge favor, hit the like button, the hype button, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you're interested in checking out the SoFi Checking and Savings account or the investing brokerage account, check out my links in the description down below. You get 25 bucks for each one of them that you open up once you fund the account. Pretty cool stuff there from SoFi. All right, here we go. SoFi stock trading around $18.70 per share right now. Over the last month, we have seen a little bit of an uptick, but over the last 2 weeks, we've actually been trading back down a little bit. So I honestly think this is a good thing because sometimes SoFi runs into earnings, and then boom, after the earnings report, it sells off considerably. And since we're already down from 20 bucks per share almost down into the 18s, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we could run up back over 21, 50, maybe 22 bucks if we're lucky. And I think we should hold those levels for the foreseeable future. Obviously, over the last year, not been great. We're giving back a lot of our gains over the last year. Year to date, we're still down 30%. But a lot of that is more macro stuff with the war going on and just overall financial sector insecurity, really. I think people are nervous with the amount of money and debt the United States is in right now. So the whole financial sector has been selling off. Even if you look at a company, an investment company like Blackstone, who owns pretty much the freaking world, they've sold off considerably year to date too, down over 20%. So it's definitely an overall sector thing, in my opinion. Also, SoFi gets linked into the crypto stuff now because they do own crypto on their brokerage. Now you could buy and sell crypto, which is pretty cool. But even a stock like Hood, who sees a lot of profits from freaking crypto, is down considerably this year, down 28%. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So let's get into the slideshow on why I think SoFi is about to blast to the moon. All right, SoFi investors, if you take a look at your screen right here, let's get into this slideshow. SoFi projected quarterly EPS. It's between, I've seen it in places between 55 cents and 60 cents on the year. Hopefully we come in and smash these numbers, right? And we could do 65, maybe even 70 cents here in 2026, but up and to the right, up and to the right. I do want to see some growth here from Q2 and Q3 for sure, but we'll see how these numbers come out tomorrow. All right, here's the SoFi Technology EPS growth projections 2026 to 2030. Yeah, they're projecting around 60 cents in 2026, between $1.10 and $1.25 in 2028. And then here we go, base case, about $1, 2030 bull scenarios, EPS ranges from $1.30 to $1.53. So we're looking at a 2x in earnings per share over the next 5 years. Pretty solid numbers there from SoFi. Management has signaled a compound annual growth rate between 38 and 42% through 2028. Again, up and to the right, up and to the right. The more earnings, hopefully, there's a new S&P 500 inclusion in June and then another one in September. So hopefully one of those rebalancing will add SoFi to the mix there in the S&P 500, and then all these ETFs that cover the S&P 500, especially a lot of them are in 401ks. That's going to be a great thing for SoFi stock moving forward. Another thing that I'm hoping happens over the next year and a half, 2 years, is they're using some of these earnings to buy back some shares. They have a lot of outstanding shares. It's getting a little egregious right now, in my opinion. I hope they don't issue any more shares, no more dilution, and actually buying back shares to help investors grow their bank accounts, right? Here we go. SoFi projected quarterly adjusted net revenue here in 2026. So this is quarter by quarter, going from 1 billion to 1.1 billion to almost 1.2 billion to 1.3 billion. So we're adding consistently in net revenue quarter in and quarter out for the 2026 fiscal year. Extremely important, especially in times where there's a lot of uncertainty, especially macroeconomically. The business is still on the right trajectory to succeed, add money to the top line and the bottom line moving forward. Now, this is a SoFi quarterly revenue growth history, trailing 12 months, analyzing expansion visibility. Okay, here we go, guys. Check out this cool little graphic we compiled for you guys. Back in 2021, 85% revenue growth. That's not sustainable long-term for any business, right? That's just not reality. But we're staying pretty steady. We've seen over the last 3 quarters around 30%. You got to love that moving forward. These are projected, the ones down here. So if we could continue to just dominate in 2026 with the current, the projected, and historical, we can kind of see where we're at. We're kind of keeping this 30% range, right? This is back in 2023 and 2024. So I'm really excited about where SoFi is. If we could stay and have this plateau and that 30% range for the next couple of years, I'd be extremely happy with that. And then we also have quarters where we bounce up, going maybe 35%, 38%. That's kind of what I want to see moving forward. I'm excited to see the revenue growth year over year coming tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. All right, here's the annual adjusted net revenue projections from 2021 to 2030. Okay, so these are the actual numbers in dark blue. These are the projected net revenue numbers for the next half a decade. So I think with membership increase, cross-selling, and expanding financial services, we're going to see continued strong growth trajectory for SoFi stock moving forward. This is a lot of money here, guys. A lot of money. We're talking about billions of dollars in net revenue. And the more net revenue comes in, the more we have the potential to increase the bottom line, which is the most important thing moving forward. Okay, here's the projected 2026 revenue by segment. Lending and financial services are about 50-50 right now. The tech platform has been very disappointing. There's no other way to slice it. We'll probably see a tick down in revenue for the tech platform this quarter, but it hasn't been great. The tech platform has been one of the biggest disappointments overall in a great business model. There's tons of different segments that are doing great. The lending segments, whether it's student loans, I think mortgages, as rates come down, it's going to explode as well. And then personal loans, obviously. And the financial services, I just signed up for the new SoFi Plus. You get, 4.5% on your first $20,000 in your savings account. That's a great deal there for SoFi. And then 3.3% for the rest of the money in that savings account. So I think this is a great place to park your money. It's better than locking your money up in a CD. And Bank of America and Wells Fargo, they don't offer anything in your savings account, right? So as long as SoFi continues to offer great value for customers, they're going to continue to see growth all over the board here. All right, this is the 2026 quarterly revenue projections by segment. As you can see, the tech platform growth, pretty lackluster. But financial services is going to continue to expand, as well as the lending platforms. I'm excited about this, man. As long as these numbers keep going up and to the right, that's what I'm excited about. So Moving forward, adjusted net revenue in billions of dollars. The tech platform, I don't love it, right? As you can see, the growth is pretty minimal, but lending and financial services has been great. The financial services is really overtaking this business model, which is consistent cash every single quarter on the balance sheet. All right, next up, this is SoFi's historical quarterly revenue by segment. As we could see, the different trajectories and expansion over these numbers. If you could see back in Q1 of 2024, look how small this blue block is. And then look where it is Q4 2025. Financial services has becoming a booming revenue stream for this company. And lending is still growing as well. The tech platform is not going to give us a lot of profits on the bottom line. I don't think anytime soon. That's just the reality of the situation. But man, financial services, whoo, baby, that expansion over the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years has been remarkable. And as long as Anthony Notos continues to have success with that, I think the sky's the limit for this company and then ultimately the stock moving forward. All right, here's SoFi's quarterly PE ratio history, right? We're currently in that 40 range. It got down to 34 when it was in that $15, $16 range, right? But still, historically, this has been a good time to buy when you're at the price to earnings of this company in the 30s to 40s. You don't want to be buying in the 90s at 130 at the peak. That's where you don't want to be buying then, right? You want to be, and as these numbers we get through quarters of 2026, these numbers are going to matter more and more the farther away we are from the first GAAP profit quarter of Q4 2023. So, and then new holdings in Ally Financial. The PE for Ally Financial is very similar to SoFi's, and SoFi is growing astronomically more than that company, right? So where do you want to put your money? I know where I want to put mine. All right, SoFi investors, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Here's SoFi's quarterly forward PE trend from 2024 to 2026. The valuation normalizing here today. If you look at the forward PE, it's just going down and down and down and down. And then the companies making more money on the top and bottom line every single quarter, right? So as this slope goes down and down and down and down and down, the company is just more valuable price to earnings wise as it's ever really been. And this is why I think there's going to be a pricing alteration on SoFi stock very, very soon, where it's going to get back to that $25 to $30 level over the next 6 or so months. I definitely see it happening here. Here's SoFi's projected gross profits from 2021 to 2030. I mean, in 10 years, pretty much, it's a 10x in gross profits. If this stays on this trajectory, right? These are all projected numbers, obviously, after 2024 and 2025. But these numbers are obtainable, in my opinion. So I think the sky is the limit for SoFi stock. I'm really curious to see what the gross profits come in tomorrow, and I'll be reporting on that as well. All right, this is another thing that I think is being mispriced or like overlooked in the market. It's SoFi's debt to cash position. If we take a look over the last 3 or so years, we've had a negative debt to cash ratio, right? Not good, not awesome. More debt, more debt, more debt. Now, cash is over double what we have in debt. And that's where we want to be. We want to be able to jump on opportunities, not be cash strapped, and have cash at our disposal. That's what makes a company great, is being able to jump on opportunities and expand profitability. And I love where they're at from a financial standpoint. They're not one of these companies that are not profitable and in a ton of debt. We're the complete opposite of that. We could cover all the debt very easily with the free cash flow that the company's generating right now. And I think that this is one of the major factors why SoFi stock is about to be repriced back in that $25 to $30 range very, very, very soon. Okay, here's the quarterly price to sales ratio for history. We take a look pre-profit, it was not great. And even back a little bit earlier, it was at 9.5 not too long ago in Q1 of 2024. Q1 2026, it's almost been cut in half. Price to sales, 6.2. I love that moving forward. And I think this stock will probably settle in the middle of that long term, maybe in that 7.5 to 8.5 range, depending if they could keep up this growth in that 25 to 35% range over the next several quarters. Okay, here we go. SoFi estimated web traffic growth from 2024 to 2026. I'm going to boom this up for you guys to take a look at that. But just take a look. From Q1 2024, estimated monthly visits on SoFi.com, less than 20 million. Now, 48 million visits per month. Nearly double, more than double. What am I even talking about? More than double the overall traffic in 2 years. It's remarkable. From 18 million to 48 million. That is crazy. The SoFi name and the brand awareness is really taking place now here, guys. And I'm through the moon by this, because this is ultimately generating more products sold. That's the meat and potatoes that we want, right? The correlation between search and product growth. This is a great chart to recognize the new products added, things that they've sold, and then monthly web traffic in millions. Look, they're both pretty much at the same exact trajectory right now. The blue dotted line is monthly web traffic, and new product added is the dark blue, and we're seeing the growth skyrocketing. So not only are we adding traffic to the website, but this traffic is turning into products added. And that means the company is making more money. And that's what we like in businesses, right? More money. And as we talk about that, talk about some more growth. Member acquisition momentum. 1 million new members. I mean, just take a look at this growth. It's per quarter. It's every single quarter we've seen an uptick since Q1 2024. Every single quarter we're up. Even if it's just a smidge here back from Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. But it's growth. 1 million new members in one freaking quarter. You got to be shitting me, guys. That is excellent. Excellent work by Noto and the team. And this is the total member growth trajectory 2024 to 2026. This is the actual numbers of the members. 10 million back in Q4 2024. Q1 2026 will close and surpass 15 million members for SoFi this quarter. Awesome. Another million will be over 15.5 million. Maybe if we get lucky and cook with some gas, 20 million might not be out of the realm of possibility, right? Super Bowl is in Los Angeles this year with SoFi Stadium and SoFi branding everywhere. Gotta love that. All right, this is the important stuff. The GAAP net income over the last several years. We went from in the red to look at from Q2 2024. It has been up and to the right. We had one little blip on the radar for a couple quarters, and then boom, we've been cooking with gas, baby. Cooking with gas. GAAP net income looking great quarter over quarter since Q2 2024. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. All right. Now to a little TA, technical analysis, 200-day SMA, simple moving average, $23.54. We have crossed the 50-day SMA, which is 1776. So step one, done. If we can get over $23.50 and hold that level long term, we could see up and to the right coming very, very, very soon. So that's a very important number. That $23 range is huge. This is the long-term trend. This is the short-term trend. You know, that's the way these numbers kind of work. But we're kind of right in the middle of these right now. But with good earnings and we get over $21 per share, $23 per share is not out of the realm of the possibility. Maybe by the late summer here in 2026. All right, our last and final slide, what the hell is the stock price going to be? That's the important part we all want to know, right? You said a lot of crap today, Jay, but what can we expect in returns? All right, hyper growth is in green, bear case, red, base case in blue. By end of 2030, bull case could be approaching $100 per share. Base case in that $70 to $80 range. Bear case, market headwinds, $30 per share. Still up a lot from where we're at now, but we want to see at least the base case. My base case for 2026, we'll see. 2026 is iffy. We don't know yet how the rest of the year is going to play out. If we can get out of this war in the Middle East, then we're going to see up and to the right. But here we go. 2027, we'll start to cook with gas a little bit. We can get up towards $35 per share in my bull case. And I think they're going to hit the bull case numbers. But what is market sentiment going to be? But by 2031, if we hit our bull case, we're going to be looking over $100 per share, $120 per share. And even with the base case, even the bear case by 2030, you're looking at a $40 stock price. That's a double up in your cash. So I think that maybe we'll be somewhere in the middle of this base case and this bear case. $80 per share, that's a 4x from where we're at. Sounds pretty good to me, SoFi investors. My price target for this year is still $25. We'll see how that goes. And if everything goes our way, maybe we'll hit back over $30. I could see a good summer this year and a Santa Claus rally. Because remember, S&P 500 inclusion. Another thing that the market is not really pricing in right now is the potential blue wave happening in November. The market likes certainty. And if we know the trajectory of the government moving forward, and if the stock market's not up and we're still in this war, the Republicans don't really have a chance in November. So Trump was really going to want to see the stock market look good, the war gone, rates lower. That's what he's going to be working on over the next 6 months. We'll see how that outplays out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Peace.